Hello friends, welcome to today's session. My name is Soni and I'm your trainer for the session today. Today's session is a very important session because it is a session on tenses. You all know what do we mean by a tense? Little bit? Not a problem. We'll go ahead and discuss about tenses in detail today and also in the sessions that follow. Let me brief you about what are the aims and objectives of the session. First of all, we'll discuss about what is a tense, the definition of a tense. We'll then move forward to the different verb forms. I hope you all know what is a verb. Sure? Good, because we've done verbs before. We'll also move ahead and see the different types or kinds of tenses, the various categories in which we can classify tense. We learn about the different forms of each category because each category is further divided into 4 forms. And then, as usual, towards the end of the session, we have activities and exercises. So are you all ready? Good. Let us see what is a tense, the definition of a tense. The term tense means time. Tense एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो हमें समय या वक्त के बारे में बताती है. इसका मतलब टेंस यूज़ करके आपको पता चल सकता है आप आज की बात कर रहे हो, पिछले कल की बात कर रहे हो या आने वाले कल की बात कर रहे हो. You can come to know whether you're talking of present, past or future, today, yesterday or tomorrow. The verb forms which express the time of action are called tenses. Now we have so many verbs in English. All the verbs are used in a different way in order to represent time. Now the 3 major kinds of tenses that we are going to talk about today are the present tense, the past tense and the future tense. Before we move on to the different kinds of tenses, let us see the 3 major forms of the verb. The 3 major forms of the verb are present, past and past participle. What I'll do is, for your convenience, I'll take examples of different verbs and express each of those examples in the present, past and the past participle form. Let's start with the examples. The first example, the word fly, F-L-Y, when we use it as a verb, udna. The word fly here is in the present verb form. But if the same thing you need to tell had happened earlier, you had seen a bird that was flying yesterday or that flew yesterday, the word fly will change to flew, F-L-E-W. Don't say it as flew, okay? It is not flew, it is flew, right? And the same verb in the past participle form becomes flown. Let's take another example. The word paint. The present form is paint, past is painted, past participle is painted. Okay? Next verb, drive, D-R-I-V-E. Gaadi chalana, to drive something. So the present form is drive. अगर कल गाड़ी चलाई थी पिछले कल, it is drove. I drove a car yesterday. Drove is your past form. And the past participle is driven. Let's move on to the next example. The word build, B-U-I-L-D, कुछ बनाना. Build is your present form. Talking about past, it becomes built, the T, built. And then again, the past participle is also built with again the T. Next example, the word entertain. Entertain, that is your present form. The past form is entertained. Pichla, entertained. And again, in this case, the past participle form is same as your past form. Entertained again. Alright? Good. Next, the word type when used as a verb. Type क्या होता है? Typing करते हो, कंप्यूटर पे करते हो, टाइपराइटर पे करते हो, हाँ वो वाला टाइप. सो टाइप इज योर प्रेजेंट फॉर्म. अगर पहले कभी की थी देन यूल हैव टू यूज टाइप्ड, ed. And again, in your past participle form, it is again typed with again the ed. Next verb, specialize. Specialize होता है किसी चीज़ में आपका एक्सपर्टीज है, आप एक्सपर्ट हो किसी फील्ड में, आप स्पेशलाइज करते हो. सो स्पेशलाइज इज योर प्रेजेंट फॉर्म. द पास्ट फॉर्म बिकम्स specialized. And again, the past participle is also specialized. The last one, teach. Simple verb, teachers teach you. Now, present form, teach. Past form would be, if you're talking about your nursery teacher, she taught you. वो अब नहीं पढ़ाती हैं आपको, जब आप छोटे थे तब पढ़ाती थी, पिछली बात है, so it becomes taught. And again in your past participle, it is again taught. So these were some examples of verbs being used in different forms. Let's move forward with the session and let's talk about tense representing time. How does tense represent time? I told you we have three kinds of tenses: present, past, future. What do you think? What is the present tense? Yes? Present tense क्या होता है? जो present है, जो आज अभी हो रहा है, that is your present. Right now, all of you are sitting and listening to me. This is a present situation, a present action. Past क्या होगा? Past होगा जो हो चुका है. Yesterday you all had gone for a picnic. अब नहीं जा रहे हो, जा चुके हो. Past वापस नहीं आ सकता. So past tense is something which is there in your mind, in your memory. जो आप याद कर सकते हो, वो हो नहीं रहा अब, हो चुका है. And future, बचा क्या अब? पिछली बात हो गई, आज की बात हो गई. Future means आने वाली बात. So future tense is something which will happen. Future किसी के हाथ में नहीं है. We all know only God can decide your future. But still, future tense is something you can imagine. Understood? I'll repeat it for you. Present is something which is there right now, currently. Past is something which has already happened. It's history now. And future is something which will happen. It's in your imagination or you plan for something. So this is how you classify tenses on the basis of time. Let's see what I've told you with the help of an interesting example. We all know who Sachin Tendulkar is? No? Who does not know? That's bad. Sachin Tendulkar? Yes, he's the master blaster of Indian cricket team. So let's take Sachin's example. I'll talk about something and I'll talk in present tense. Can anybody break Tendulkar's records in batting? I'm asking you a question. Can anybody break Tendulkar's records in batting? ब्रेक मीन्स आज की डेट में कोई उसका जो रिकॉर्ड बना हुआ है उसे तोड़ सकता है. This is a current situation that I have put. So it becomes your present tense. Now what is the verb in this sentence? Tendulkar? No, what is Tendulkar? Yes, Tendulkar is a noun, a proper noun, because it's the name of a person. What is the action that I'm talking about? Read the sentence carefully. Yes, the action is to break the record. So break becomes your verb, and the verb here is in the present form. Let's talk about the past form using a same example. Tendulkar broke Gavaskar's records. Now Gavaskar was also a batsman in the Indian cricket team. Tendulkar came in and he broke. उन्होंने तोड़ा. आज नहीं वो तोड़ चुके हैं गावस्कर का record. So it is something that has already happened. It's history, and history is something which has gone by. It is not happening right now. So Tendulkar broke. Broke becomes your verb in the past form. Who is Sachin Tendulkar? He is the master blaster of the Indian cricket team. You all are aware of it? Good. Let's see the same example in future tense. Will Tendulkar's records ever be broken? Will Tendulkar's records ever be broken? Now you're thinking hard. क्या कभी कोई तेंदुलकर का record तोड़ पाएगा? It's a imagination. It's something you're thinking about. It has not happened or it is not happening. The verb here is broken. Now, do you understand? Using the same example, I've explained you all the three tenses. The present tense usually expresses action in the present time. I'm just revising for you. So keep your eyes and ears open. The past tense usually expresses actions in the past, and the future tense expresses actions in the future time. The easiest definition you can get of a tense, the three kinds of tenses. Now we've discussed the tenses broadly, that they are the present, the future, the past tense. Each of these is further divided into 4 parts. First part for each of them, for the past, present and future, is simple. You have the simple past, the simple present, the simple future. So simple becomes number 1. Second is the continuous. What does the word continuous mean otherwise? कुछ चल रहा है, लगातार चले जा रहा है. That is continuous. So the second form for each tense is continuous. You have the present continuous, the past continuous, and the future continuous. Third one is perfect. Again, you have present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. Last form, the fourth one, is perfect continuous. Both the two forms club together in the last one. Perfect continuous. You'll have the present perfect continuous, then we have the past perfect continuous and the future perfect continuous. Good. I hope it's not too much for you. I'll repeat the forms and I'll give you a slight idea as to what each of these forms mean. First one is simple. Simple denotes actions which happen at the time. Now don't confuse about whether I'm talking about the past or present or future. Just concentrate on the form simple. It can go with any of the three. Simple denotes actions which happen at the time. At any particular time, you're talking about a specific time. If you denote such an action, it is said to be in the simple form of that tense. Understood? Good. Refer to your workbook. You do have a one-line definition there. Next is continuous. Continuous मतलब लगातार चला आ रहा है जो. Continuous denotes actions that continue at a time or that are going on. आप अभी चल रहे हो, चलना, चले जा रहे हो. So चलना becomes your continuous action. Again, don't just think about whether it is past, present or future. Don't concentrate on that right now. Just concentrate on the word continuous. Next is perfect. Perfect denotes actions which end at a time. Now, simple was actions which are happening or which happen at a time. Perfect is which end. We are talking about the end of an action. Which end at a time. Such kind of actions are grouped under perfect form. The last one is perfect continuous. Now try and join both the definitions of perfect and continuous. Perfect continuous shows actions which start before the time and continues past it. So perfect continuous means the work has started and it is still going on. कोई काम शुरू हुआ है और अभी भी चल रहा है. मे बी वो काम बहुत बड़ा हो, इस वजह से वो शुरू होके अब तक चले जा रहा है. Got it? Now do you understand all the 4 forms? Good. Now let's come to the tenses and let's talk about simple present tense. Present tenses जो अभी चल रहा है, it's something which is right now. So let's see, when do we use the simple present tense? We use the simple present tense to express universal truths. What are universal truths? जो चीज़ें बदली नहीं जा सकती, जो जैसी हैं हमेशा वैसी ही रहेंगी. For example, the sun rises in the east. We know this. Sun हमेशा east में ही rise करता है. कभी west से हुआ है? नहीं. So this is a universal truth. So such kind of sentences or phrases are expressed in the simple present tense. What else do we express in simple present? When we talk about action which is usually performed or is always done. That is, it's a routine action. For example, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. This is your daily routine. Every day you do it. It's a action which is always done on daily basis. So it will be expressed in simple present tense. Another area where we use simple present tense is if we want to give an order or make a request. Now, if you're a boss, you can give an order, but if you're not a boss, the only option you have is to make a request. So, may I know the time, please? Is it an order? No, it is a request. You're saying please. So, a request can be expressed in your simple present tense. So these were the areas where you can use simple present tense. Let's see the verb formation for a simple present tense. You have the subject, that is the center of attraction, what you're talking about. That is your subject. For example, we take the name of a girl, Simran. We are talking about Simran. Simran becomes your subject. Subject is followed by a verb. For example, an action that Simran does. Simran studies English. What is the action? It is studies. That is an action being performed by Simran. So subject is followed by the verb in the plural form, in the third person form. Okay? This is how the verb formation takes place in your simple present tense. Simran studies English. Now if I want to say I study English. I studies English nahi hoga. So don't forget to revise your verb forms. Uske bina you will not be able to form a correct sentence. Let's see some examples. Examples of verb formation for the simple present tense. We'll talk about the first person, that is I. The second person, you all are the second person. And a third person, maybe we are talking about someone, he or she. I, you, he, she. First, second, third. Alright, we'll talk about them and we'll see how we can express each of these in simple present tense. First example, I eat lunch. I, first person, followed by the verb eat. Lunch is your object, what you're doing. If I need to say the same thing for a second person, it becomes you eat lunch. I eat, you eat, he eats. With the third person, you add an S to the verb. Similarly, we eat dinner, you eat dinner, she eats. Same as the first example. Next, I drink tea, you drink tea, but babies a third person we are talking about. Babies drink milk. Next, we drink water, you drink water, they drink water. This is how you start forming simple sentences first and then move on to complex ones. I sleep late, you sleep late, Arun sleeps late. Arun aa gaya, third person aa gaya, and it's a name or it's a he or a she, then you use S with the verb. Next one, we sleep late, you sleep late, Leila sleeps late. Understood why sleeps for Leila? Because Leila is the name of a girl you're talking about, a third person. Now I've taught you enough. It's your time to show me how much you remember, because it's the exercise time. You need to fill in the blanks with the right form of the given verbs. I'll give you a verb and you need to fill in the correct form of the verb in the sentences. So the name of this exercise is what do they do? We'll talk about people, their occupation. You have a set of verbs. You need to fill in with the correct one, with the correct form. The first one. Let's start with round 1 of this quiz. He is a mechanic. You all know who is the mechanic? You don't know? Ask your friend or your teacher. I'm not going to tell you who is a mechanic. You're grown-up kids now. Okay, now you know who is a mechanic? Good.